Now, how about them damn Celtics?
All right, we're here. Another Boston Celtics video. Today we're looking at the general scope of the Celtics season. Celtics are about to kick off their season on Wednesday against Philadelphia 76ers. And this could be the first time in a while that we don't really know what the goal is for the Celtics in terms of how many wins should they be looking for? What round of the playoffs? Like for the past few years, it's been championship or bust. This year, I feel like expectations are a little bit more up in the air. The over-under win total that I've seen around 41.5, 41 and a half wins, which is just barely over 500 is where people project the Celtics to be. I personally think they're going to go over that. I'm pretty comfortable in that assessment. I don't think they'll be worse than that, but I guess anything can happen. So.
After watching through 4 preseason games, I agree with you. I think that this roster is a little bit better than we thought it was going to be going into the season. I think that the players at the top, especially, are primed to have better seasons than we expect or would expect. Like traditionally, like Pritchard seems primed for a leap. Derek White looks really comfortable being aggressive so far. Jalen is going to relish in this opportunity. There's no doubt about it. The problem is, and I'll take the other side just so we can make this entertaining, so we're not like being like, yeah, I agree. Is if somebody had like Jalen Brown is already dealing with a hamstring thing heading into opening night. Granted, there's a week between preseason finale, regular season opener, plenty of time for him to heal up. And I said this when we did the little update on that from Joe Mazzulla. If he misses time this year, they're in trouble. It was evident how much they missed him during the Raptors game. The Raptors, by the way, are fine. Like they're probably right around the same level of team as the Celtics are this season, depending on how you feel about them. The Celtics were up big on Toronto with Jalen. Once Jalen went out, granted that could be a flow of the game thing, they plummeted. Game ended up being close. They watched a 16-point lead go away with rotation guys playing against Toronto's rotation guys. It wasn't pretty. The same could be said if like Derek White misses some time. I don't think it'll be like if you have Jalen and not Derek, it won't be as substantial as not having Jalen. But for the Celtics to hit this, which they're very capable of, like I'm not trying to say that they're not, you're going to have to rely on a full bill of health this year. And the players that I mentioned, Derek White traditionally never misses time. That looks good. You should be excited. You should be like, all right, that's good. Jalen Brown, usually pretty good last season, even when he was dealing with the knee meniscus thing, he fought through and played games. So those are two guys who are not traditionally injury prone, but you never know. Things can happen. And it doesn't feel like there's a lot of wiggle room for them to hit that number if those things do happen.
Yeah, I think Jalen will probably float around that 65 game mark like he usually does. Maybe he tries to push for the extra games, but there's usually a couple, nicks and bruises there. I think Derek Payton will have a very important role carrying this team. I think Derek's going to have a phenomenal season in particular. Um, it's impossible to know with the injuries and everything that goes on whether or not that could take them from yes they'll hit the over to there's no chance they're not going to win that many games, and so anything can happen. I mean, I'm sure you look at teams over the years like the Grizzlies for the past 3 seasons have probably just tanked the under because they have never been healthy. They've never been able to stay on the court. Teams like the Pistons probably smashed the over because they just had a bigger year than people expected and other teams got injured. Like there's just different things that can happen that nobody can expect. But I think one of the underrated parts about this Celtics roster that people don't consider just because they've had two good teams 2 years in a row is Joe Mazzulla is one of the best coaches in the NBA. Like even from what we've seen in the preseason and from what people have talked about in scrums and press conferences after the game, they're playing a completely different style of basketball. I feel like there aren't many teams, many coaches around the league who can just take in a new team and completely change the way they played for the past 2 years. And in the first few games of preseason, like we've seen it. People will say, like, oh yeah, we're gonna try something different, and then it'll just look like the same, brand of basketball that coaches preach their entire career. This is something we've never seen a Joe Mazzulla team do. This fast-paced run and gun, right? The shot profile will still look a little similar, right? They're still gonna get their threes, they're still gonna get their layups, they're still gonna do all this, but like the defense has been way more aggressive. The offense has been way faster paced. They're taking way more risks. Like it's completely different, right? You're not going to see Tom Thibodeau teams play, different than Tom Thibodeau teams. You're rarely going to see like Eric Spoelstra teams play different, or I mean, like Greg Popovich had his brand, or like all these, Mike Brown has his brand. All these, people around the league have their brand of basketball that they implement as and use as success. But Joe Mazzulla is just completely changing things up based on the roster he has at hand. And so I think there's a lot of things that aren't being accounted for when people put that win total out there. Derek White having a monster year, the Celtics having more depth than people realize, right? Like probably being better than a lot of these mid-tier Eastern Conference teams that have better win totals than them. Like I'm looking at it, and teams with better,
What's
over
the most
under
offensive
than the
one?
Celtics. The Hawks are projected to win 5 more games than the Celtics. The Pistons are projected to win 5 more games than the Celtics. The Bucks are above the Celtics. The Sixers are above the Celtics. The Spurs, I mean, that's a Western Conference team, so it's harder, but like I think the Celtics are going to be right in the mix with all those teams in the East that I just mentioned, and it feels like they're projected to be in a tier below, and I don't think that's fair.
To pile on your Mazzulla point, one thing that is a constant with him is the just competitive freak. Like on the Bill Simmons pod, him and Zach Lowe compared him to KG pretty much. Like he's like this team's KG, and I think that's kind of true. Like he's just not gonna let them go out there and lose games. He wants to compete. Like literally in the preseason, telling Emmanuel quickly to shut the fuck up as he runs up the sideline, taunting the bench. Like Joe has that fire in him, and as much as like for us, like as people who cover the team, support the team, whatever, like it is nice to know that they have the draft pick this year, just in case like something terribly goes wrong and it goes off the rails. But I mean, you've made this point several times. Like he's not going to buy into the tank thing. Like I don't think he would ever do it. And that probably gets you a couple more wins, especially like if you're close to, let's say they're like 38, 39 wins late March, early April. Like they're not going to be shutting. They're probably going to be competing. And also like, if you want to talk about that time of year, Jason Tatum maybe like poking his head around the corner, maybe getting ready to play. So that could get you a couple more wins. It could cost you some wins too, getting him back out there and like comfortable on the floor. Like there could be some growing pains with him kind of finding his footing as a player again. Not to say he won't be able to be the same guy eventually, but like he's not going to step out there for the first time and have a 35 ball. Or if he does, that'd be shocking. I just don't expect that kind of basketball from him. So, we're going to have to wait and see. There's just like a lot of variables this year. And I think because of all those variables, I don't know. Here we are. We've done a whole 8-minute show, and I've somehow ended up back at the I don't know, which every time we talk about the upcoming season is what I tell you.
I think the Celtics are going to win more than 41 games. I think they're going to win comfortably more than 41 games. I wouldn't be surprised if they hit the 45 to 48 mark. I think they're going to be really good. I think they're going to be a really good basketball team. I think people underrate having the depth that they have, having the do-it-all players that they have. Derek White, Peyton Pritchard, like even outside of Jaylen Brown, who's obviously going to be the leader. Like I just think they're going to be a lot better than people give them credit for. And I think there's going to be an element to it of like, oh, it's the Celtics today. It doesn't really matter. Who cares? Like they don't have Tatum, and then you're just going to get blitzed, and teams aren't going to be able to catch up. The thing that's happened to the Celtics the last year, the Celtics are going to be the team to do it. So we'll see what happens. Let us know what you think. Appreciate you for tuning in. Leave a like, subscribe, and I'll take it out.
Hey, thank you very much for listening and watching. Make sure you leave a like, comment, subscribe. We are here every single day with new content. Full pods drop Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday. Game recaps up the morning after each game. Other videos are here in between to keep you up to date with all things Celtics. You can also find us live streaming pregame, live half hour before every single game, getting special guests to join us every single night for it. So it should be a lot of fun. Come hang out. Don't miss them. I've had some great guests so far. Nick NBA, Jake Eisenberg, first to the floor. Ben Vallis, Bobby Kravitsky helped us get through the preseason, hoping to have more and more fun guests throughout the season. You can find us on Spotify and Apple too. All pods and recaps are there. So if you just want those in the audio form, they'll go right to your feed. Leave a 5-star review. We'd appreciate that very, very much. You can email us hbtcpod@gmail.com. Our socials are at How About Them C's for Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. Facebook's name of the podcast. All streams are there. They're on YouTube. They're on Twitter. Jack's Twitter's Jack's Mon NBA. Mine's at Sam LaFrance NBA. That's it for us. Bye.
Taco. Come on. Taco.